Yeah, good evening, all of you. In the last class, we started current electricity. We discussed about current, drift velocity, okay, and also about Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Ohm's law is potential difference, potential difference across the ends of a conducting wire is directly proportional to the amount of current flowing through it. And what is current? Current is equal to rate of flow of charges. It is dq by dt. Okay, it is rate of flow of charge with respect to time is known as current. So Ohm's law states that potential difference across the ends of a conducting wire is directly proportional to current passing through it, and the proportionality constant comes out to be R. V is equal to IR. You have to remember this formula. This is a very important formula, okay, which you will be using in solving most of the questions. Okay, so V is equal to IR, where R is the resistance. So what is the SI unit of potential difference? It is volt. SI unit of potential difference is volt. SI unit of current is ampere. SI unit of current is ampere, and SI unit of resistance is ohm. And the symbol of ohm is like this. Okay, so you should know this. Now, what is resistance? It is the obstruction offered to the flow of charges. In the last class, we discussed this resistance in detail. It is because of the stationary positive ions. Okay, it is because of the collisions taking place between electrons and stationary positive ions. Higher the number of collisions, higher would be the resistance. So this resistance depends on what? It is directly proportional to length of a conducting wire. It is inversely proportional to area of cross section of a wire. So this resistance comes out to be, the formula for finding out resistance of a conducting wire is rho L by A, where rho is the resistivity. It is a proportionality constant. This rho is what? Resistivity. And this rho is a material property. This one is a material property, different for different materials. Okay, this rho is a material property, depends on temperature, depends on temperature, correct? So resistance depends on length of a conducting wire. If we are increasing the length, then resistance will increase. It is inversely proportional to area of cross section of a conducting wire. If we are increasing the area of cross section, correct, if we are increasing the area of cross section, then the resistance will decrease, correct? And if we are increasing temperature, if temperature is increased, correct, this implies resistance will also increase. And the reason I had given you in the last class, that if we increase the temperature, then electrons will also start vibrating, correct? Electrons will also start vibrating, and due to this more number of collisions would be there, offering more resistance. So always remember this thing for resistor, that resistance is directly proportional to length, it is inversely proportional to area of cross section, and it is directly proportional to temperature. If we increase the temperature, then resistance of a conducting wire will increase. Okay, now next, then we discussed few problems. We did two problems based on V equal to IR. This V equal to IR is given by Ohm's law. Now there is one more question I have. One more question is there. Okay, solve this question. There is a circuit. Sorry. Okay, so there are four resistors. How do we represent a resistor? This is a resistor. So there are four resistors connected in the circuit and a battery. This is the negative terminal of a battery. This one is the positive terminal. Now, the resistance of this one is 6 ohm. This one is given as 3 ohm. This one is given as 2 ohm. And this one is given as 4 ohm. Okay, so there are four resistors connected in the circuit. And this battery is given as, let's say, how much? 20 volt. This one is given as 20 volt. So what you have to find out now? Find out first part, I net current withdrawn from the battery. I net from battery. There's a battery of 20 volt. So what is the net current withdrawn from the battery? This you have to find out. The second one is find out current passing through. Find out current passing through 2 ohm. Find out current passing through resistor 2 ohm. And the third one is potential difference across 6 ohm. Potential difference across 6 ohm. Find out these three values. Okay. So you must remember that Ohm's law, V equal to IR. You can apply Ohm's law between any across any resistor. Across any resistor, we can use V equal to IR. Okay. Solve. Try. How to solve? In the last class, we discussed about combination of resistors. Okay, if multiple resistors are connected, then how to find out how many of them are connected in series and how many of them are connected in parallel? So similarly, in this circuit, four resistors are there. Okay, so out of this four, you have to select how many of them are connected in series or parallel, and accordingly, you have to deduce. Okay, you have to deduce all four into a single resistor. So first of all, find out R equivalent of this circuit. First, you need to find out R equivalent of the circuit. And how do you find out whether it's in series or parallel? If current passing through all the resistors is same, then all are connected in series. And if potential difference across all the resistors are same, then they all are connected in parallel. In series, current is same, current is common, and in parallel, potential difference across all the resistors would be common. So now here I can see that if I assume, let's say, some current will flow, some I current is flowing from the battery. Okay, the same amount of current I would be passing through 4 ohm resistor. Now at this junction, current will split in three direction. In three parts, current will split. And I can see that this 6, 3, and 2, they all are connected in parallel. This 2 ohm, 3 ohm, and 6 ohm, the three are connected in parallel. How? Because their points are common. The left hand side of all these three resistors, they all are at same potential. This is the left hand side of 2 ohm. This is the left hand side point of 3 ohm, and this one is 6 ohm. And the right hand side point, the another point of all these three resistors, that is also common. That is also at the same potential. So 2, 3, and 6, all three are in parallel. All three are in parallel. Okay. So now the circuit will become like this. See, if all are in parallel, then what is the R? 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 6. So 1 upon R is equal to how much? Solve all of them. So this comes out to be how much? This will come out to be 1. So this implies R is equal to 1 ohm. So equivalent of all these three would be 1 ohm. So now you can apply these. You can apply the equivalent of these three between these 2 points. Okay. And that comes out to be 1 ohm, and this one is 4 ohm, and this one is how much? This one is 20 volt. Now can you see 4 and 1? Can you see 4 and 1 are connected in series? 4 and 1 are connected in series. Yes. So now what would be the final R equivalent? Final R equivalent of the circuit would be 4 ohm plus 1 ohm. So that is equal to how much? 5 ohm. So this is the final R equivalent. So what would be the I net now? Simply you have to apply V equal to IR for the circuit. So what is the V? V is given as 20 volt and R equivalent is 5. So this comes out to be 4 ampere. So answer for the first part would be 4 ampere. Net current withdrawn from the battery would be 4 ampere. Okay. Next one is, what is the current passing through 2 ohm? We have to find out current passing through 2 ohm. And look at this circuit. This 2, 3, and 6 are in parallel. So I can also club 3 and 6 because these two are also in parallel. 3 and 6 are also in parallel. So this structure can be drawn as, the circuit can be drawn as, now this one is 4 ohm. Okay, this one was 2 ohm. This one is a battery minus plus 20 volt. And across these 2 points, 3 and 6 are connected and both are parallel. So convert both of them in a single resistor, and what would be the resistance? It would be 1 upon 3 plus 1 upon 6 is equal to 1 upon R dash. So this R dash comes out to be 2 ohm. Okay, the equivalent resistance of this 3 and 6, this 3 and 6 comes out to be how much? 2 ohm, and that 2 ohm is in parallel with another 2 ohm. Okay, this, so we have to find out current passing through this. We have to find out this current, small I. Okay, and you already know this current. This capital I was how much? This capital I was 4 ampere. 4 ampere current is coming from the battery. Now you have to split this 4 ampere into these two resistors. So obviously if resistance is same, this 2 ohm and 2 ohm, they both are in parallel. If resistance is same, then current, okay, current will also be distributed equally. So this 4 ampere, 2 ampere will go in this direction and 2 ampere will go in this branch. So the value of small I comes out to be how much? 2 ampere. Answer for second part is 2 ampere. And also in the last class, I told you one short trick. What? The current passing through R1 is equal to R2 upon opposite resistance upon addition of both multiplied by net current entering. Okay, but here in this situation, R1 and R2 both are equal. So what would be the answer? It is 2 upon 2 plus 2, and how much current is entering? It is 4. So it is 8 upon 4, that is equal to 2 ampere. So answer for second part would be 2 ampere. Okay, 2 ampere current would be passing through this 2 ohm. And the last part of this question is, what is the potential difference across 6 ohm? What is the potential difference across 6 ohm? Tell me. Yes. What is the potential difference across 6 ohm? C. So if you want to find out potential difference across 6 ohm, so here you can see all these three resistors, 2, 3, and 6, all three are in parallel. It means potential difference across all of them would be same. Correct? So if you can find out potential difference across this 2 ohm, that would be the same as potential difference across 6 ohm, because all three are in parallel. Potential difference would remain same. And you already know what is the current passing through this 2 ohm. It is 2 ampere. The current passing through 2 ohm is 2 ampere. Then what is the potential difference across 2 ohm? Potential difference across 2 ohm would be I into R. Current passing through it is 2 and resistance is 2. That is equal to how much? 4 volt. And this would be the answer for potential difference across 6 ohm. Answer would be 4 volt. Answer would be 4 volt. Why? Because 2, 3 and 6 all are connected in parallel. So you can find out potential difference across any of these three resistors. Okay, so I have found out potential difference across 2 ohm, which would be current passing through 2 ohm, which is 2, multiplied by resistance 2, that gives me 4, and this would be the same as potential difference across 6 ohm. Clear? Next question. Okay, now the next one is, I'm giving you one more. Solve that circuit. Now I will increase number of resistors. This is 3 ohm, this one is 6 ohm, and then this one is 1 ohm, then this one is again 3 ohm. Okay, this one is 3 ohm, then this one is 3 by 2 ohm, and this one is 7 ohm, and this battery is of 20 volt minus plus. Okay, so in this circuit 6 resistors are connected. 6 resistors are connected. Find out first part, net current withdrawn from the battery. I net from battery. This is the first part you have to find out. Then second part of this question, second part is find out current passing through. Find out current passing through 1 ohm. Find out current passing through 1 ohm. And the third part is what is the potential difference? What is the potential difference across 6 ohm? These three parts you have to find out. Net current withdrawn from the battery. Second one is current passing through 1 ohm. And the third one is potential difference across 6 ohm resistor. Okay, so what you have to do first, you have to, like, multiple resistors are connected, so you need to find out how many of them are in series parallel. So club all of them using series parallel and find out R equivalent. Then V 20 upon R equivalent will give you answer for the first part, I net. And then split. Okay, then split the current in another branches, find out current in all the branches. That will give you second part. And the third part would be potential difference across 6 ohm, which would be current passing through 6 ohm multiplied by 6. That would be the potential difference across 6 ohm. Solve. 10 is not the answer. For first part, 10 is not the answer. 10.33 is not the answer. Answer for the first part would be an integer. 6 is not correct. 6.33 is not correct. Mm. Try to solve. Four is also not correct. Prisha, the other is right. Yeah, two seems to be correct. So answer for the first part is two. Find out. Find out. Yeah, Andheri. What is R equivalent? What is R equivalent of these six registers? So first you need to find out. Yeah, 10 ohm. See, in parallel or series, you have to find out, right? So look at this circuit. So this 3 ohm, this 6 ohm. Okay, if this 1 ohm resistor was not there, if this 1 ohm resistor was not there, then this 3, 6, and 3, all three would have been in parallel, correct? If this 1 ohm resistor was not there. But now, as if this 1 ohm resistor is there, so now this 3 ohm has nothing to do with remaining two. But now the 6 ohm and 3 ohm, these two, I can see that these two are still in parallel, because this point is common for both of them and this point is also common. These 2 points are common, the right hand side point and left hand side point. For 6 and 3, both the points are common. It means 6 and 3, these two are connected in parallel. These two are connected in parallel. So now the circuit will become this. There is one 7 ohm, then there's one 3 ohm, okay, and there is 1 ohm. So if these two are in parallel, so what would be the R equivalent for these two? 1 upon R. Okay, and always remember, like, if there are two resistors connected in parallel, then how to find out their equivalent resistance? Simply multiplication upon addition of those two. So 6 into 3 upon 6 plus 3, that gives me R equivalent, which is 2 ohm. So R equivalent of 6 and 3 would be 2 ohm if they are connected in parallel. And now I am connecting this 2 ohm across these 2 points. So this one is the 2 ohm. Okay. And this one is how much? 3 by 2 ohm. Again, again. Now, can you see this 2 and this one? This 2 and this one, they are connected in parallel. Correct? No, they are connected in series with each other. This 2 ohm and 1 ohm, because same current is passing. Same current will flow through both of them. Okay, so the next circuit would be 7 ohm, 3 ohm. This one is 3 by 2. This one is 3 ohm. So 2 plus 1 would become 3. So this one is the 3 ohm. And now I can see this 3 and this 3, they are connected in what? They are connected in parallel. So the next circuit would be, now 3 and 3 would become 3 by 2. If they are connected in parallel, it would become 3 by 2. So now these two are in parallel. So equivalent would become 3 by 2 ohm. This one is already 3 by 2 ohm. And this one is how much? 7 ohm. So now what is the final resistor? Now 6, now 7, 3 by 2, 3 by 2, all three are in series. So this plus this gives you 10. So there is a battery and 10 ohm resistor is connected. So R equivalent comes out to be 10 and there is a battery of 20 volt. Now you can clearly tell me answer for the first part. Answer for the first part would be 20 upon 10. 20 upon 10. Right? Initially, these two, the 6 ohm and 3 ohm, they both are in parallel. Okay, so it becomes 2 ohm. This is the diagram. Okay, now this 2 and this one, they both are in series. So the diagram becomes like this, circuit becomes like this: 7, 3, 3 by 2, and there is one more 3 due to 2 plus 1. And this 3 and this 3, they are also in parallel. because they are having points in common. So this 3 and 3 in parallel will become 3 by 2 ohm. And now 7, 3 by 2, 3 by 2, all three are in series. So the final R equivalent comes out to be 10 ohm. The final R equivalent is 10 ohm. Now tell me what would be the current net? So the net current, you apply Ohm's law, I net would be equal to 20 volt upon R equivalent, which is 10. So this comes out to be 2 ampere. Okay, so answer for the first part is 2 ampere. Now second part. Second part is what is the current passing through 1 ampere? So now again, let's come back to this circuit. So can I say the current passing through 7 ohm is how much? 2 ampere, because this 7 ohm is directly connected with the battery. Okay, so this is the battery. So from here 2 ampere current starts and the same current passes through 7 ohm resistor. Now this current will have to split. This current will split. Okay, this current will split. Now look at this diagram. Look at this diagram. This one is 3 ohm, this one is 3 ohm, and 2 ampere is coming. And if 2 ampere is coming and both the resistances are same, then can I say 1 ampere would be given to this and 1 ampere would be given to this? Correct, because resistances are same 3 and 3 and they both are in parallel. How to split 2 ampere and two resistors connected in parallel having equal resistances equally 1 ampere and 1 ampere. Okay, now if this one is 1 ampere, then what is this 3 ohm? This 3 ohm is the combination of 2 and 1. This 3 ohm is the combination of 2 and 1. Then can I say that 1 ampere would be there in this branch and the same current 1 ampere would go will pass through 2 ohm and 1 ohm? Correct. So what would be the answer for second part? What is the current passing through 1 ohm? Current passing through 1 ohm is how much? 1 ampere. Current passing through 1 ohm resistor is equal to how much? 1 ampere. Okay. Yeah. So these diagrams, okay, which I have drawn here, these diagrams will help you. So try to draw these diagrams whenever you solve such kind of questions. You don't have you will not have to do much of like calculation. You will directly get the answer. Okay, so second part is current passing through 1 ampere, 1 ohm is 1 ampere. Now, the last part is what is the potential difference across 6 ohm? What is the potential difference across 6 ohm? How to solve this? Huh? What is the potential difference across 6 ohm? So for that, I need to first find out what is the current passing through 6 ohm and 6 ohm. Can I say that 6 ohm was the combination? The 6 ohm, this 2 ohm is the combination of 6 and 3. This 2 ohm is the combination of 6 and 3. And how much current is passing through 2 ohm? 1 ampere is passing through 2 ohm. So can I draw like this? That one is 6 ohm, another one is 3 ohm. One is 6 ohm, another one is 3 ohm. So this combination was 2 ohm. And how much current is passing through this 2 ohm? 1 ampere. Correct? So the equivalent was how much? Equivalent was 2 ohm. And when you split this resistor into two resistors, this was 6 and 3. So now you have to split this 1 ampere in 6 and 3. You can do that easily. So what is the current passing through 6 ohm? Current passing through 6 ohm is equal to opposite resistance 3 upon addition of both multiplied by net current entering, which is 1. So the current passing through 6 ohm is how much? It is 3 by 9, which is equal to 1 by 3 ampere. So current passing through 6 ohm is 1 by 3 ampere. This implies potential difference across 6 ohm would be current multiplied by resistance 6. That is how much? 2 volt. So potential difference across 6 ohm resistor would be 2 volt. This is the answer for third part. This one is the answer for third part. Clear? Okay. Next. Next. Yeah, wait. Now next question. Okay. Now next question. A wire of length, a wire of length capital L is cut into n equal parts. A wire of length L is cut into n equal parts, and all the parts all the parts are connected in parallel with the same battery with the same battery. Find out find out the ratio of find out the ratio of find out the ratio of currents find out the ratio of currents passing through passing through the battery in two cases in both the cases in both the cases. So when the single wire was connected of length L, okay, and that wire was connected with some battery. Now this wire is cut into n equal parts, and all the parts are connected in parallel, and all that parallel combination is connected with the same battery, okay, as the initial one. So what you have to find out the ratio of currents passing through the battery in both the cases. Like first case was when there was a single wire of length L, and the another case is when n number of wires are there, okay, and all are connected in parallel with the same battery. Do it. Okay, so you can assume values. If you want that battery, the voltage of battery is not given, that you can assume, because it remains same in both the cases. And the resistance of wire, you can also assume that it is capital R. Okay, solve. And it is cut into small and equal parts, this wire. Okay, so if initially there's a wire of length L, and let's say the resistance of this wire is R, and this wire is connected with a battery. This wire is connected with a battery of V volt, some V volt. So what is the initial current? Initial current is equal to V by R. Initial current is V by R. Okay. I'm not telling you the answer, final answer. So initially, let's say this is a wire of resistance R and length L, and this wire is connected with a battery of V volt. So what would be the current passing through the battery? It would be simply V by R. Now, if I cut this wire into n equal parts, this wire is cut into n equal parts, and all the parts are connected in parallel, n parts, correct? And all the parts are connected in parallel. So what will happen now? Now the resistance of this combination will change. Resistance of the combination will change. How? See, the resistance was what? Resistance is equal to resistivity rho multiplied by length of the wire upon cross-sectional area of the wire. So if I cut this wire into n equal parts, then the resistivity and area of cross-section would remain same for all the n parts. Okay, the resistivity rho, because material will remain same. Let's say if it is a copper wire, then all the n parts are of copper, made up of copper. So this resistivity will remain same for all of them. The area of cross sectional will remain same for all of them. Only L will change. And what would be the length? What would be the length of each part? Now the length will become L by N, because I have cut this wire into n equal parts. L by N, L by N, L by N, and so on. So what would be the resistance? Let's say R dash. R dash would be equal to rho. Resistivity would remain same. Length would be L by N for this particular wire. Upon cross sectional area is also A. So the R dash becomes rho L by N A, or in terms of the initial resistance, it becomes R by N. So this is the resistance of a single part. Okay, resistance of a single part. And how many such parts are there? N number of parts are there. N number of parts are there. So what would be the 1 upon R equivalent? 1 upon R equivalent of these n resistors could be 1 upon R dash. All of them are having the same resistance. 1 upon R dash plus 1 upon R dash plus 1 upon R dash, and so on up to n times. Correct? So 1 upon R equivalent can be written as n multiplied by 1 upon R dash. Correct? So what would be the R equivalent? R equivalent would be R dash upon n. Put the value of R dash here. So R dash is R by N upon N. So the R equivalent comes out to be R upon N square. The R equivalent, okay, when this wire is cut into n equal parts and all parts are connected in parallel. So the resistance of the single part R dash comes out to be R by N, and n such parts are there. So R equivalent comes out to be R by N square. Now you can find out. So there is a single resistor with resistance R by N square, and it is connected with the same battery V volt. So what would be the current through the battery? Current would be equal to V by R upon N square. So this would be R multi N square. So this would be the final current. So final current is equal to V upon R by N square, which is V into N square upon R. And now you can take the ratio. So what would be the ratio now? I final upon, sorry, I initial upon I final. So I initial is how much? V by R upon final one is N square V by R. So V by R cancel out. So answer is how much? 1 upon N square. Answer would be 1 upon N square. 1 upon N square. This would be the answer. Clear? Okay. So we have one more question based on uh, like resistance. Write down the question. Write down the question. The question is, in order to increase, write down one more question. In order to increase the resistance of a given wire, in order to increase the resistance of a given wire of uniform cross section, in order to increase the resistance of a given wire of uniform cross section to four times its value, In order to increase the resistance of a given wire of uniform cross section to 4 times its value, a fraction of its length is stressed. A fraction of its length is stressed uniformly. A fraction of its length is stressed uniformly till the full length of the wire, till the full length of the wire becomes, a fraction of its length is stressed uniformly till the full length of the wire becomes 3 by 2 times the original length. Till the full length of the wire becomes 3 by 2 times the original length. What is the value of this fraction? What is the value of this fraction? What is the value of this fraction that you have to tell? Okay. The question is, in order to increase the resistance of a given wire. So already there is a wire of some length, let's say L, and area of cross section A. So in order to increase the resistance of this wire 4 times, we want to make the resistance 4 times. What we are doing? A fraction of its length, not the full length, a fraction of its length is stressed uniformly till the full length of the wire becomes 3 by 2 times the original length. What is the value of this fraction? This is the question. So initially, if there is a wire, so let's say you can assume that length of this wire is L, cross-sectional area of this wire is A, and resistance of this wire is R. Resistivity is rho L by A. This you can assume. What is the value of the fraction? Half is not correct. Okay. So now this is a wire of length L and cross-sectional area A and resistance R. Now what they are doing, fraction of its length, not the whole wire, only fraction of its length is stressed uniformly till the total length becomes 3 by 2 times L. Correct? Yeah. No, area will not remain constant, no? Like the fraction, the part which you are stretching. Okay, let's say if you are stretching X part, okay, X part if you are stretching, so the area of cross section will change for this X part, because if you are definitely if you are stretching this X, then area of cross section will decrease. Correct? So now a fraction of this total length is stretched uniformly. So now the remaining length is how much? Remaining length is L minus X. So this L minus X would be having the same area as A. This L minus X would be having the same area as A. And now we are stretching this part X till the total length becomes 3 by 2 times the initial length. Okay, we are stretching this X part till when? Till the total length becomes 3 by 2 times the initial length. Initial length is L. Correct? So obviously area of this stressed part will change. It becomes, let's say, A dash. Area of the stressed part will change definitely, because if you are increasing the length, area will decrease. Yes, now the question is how to find out this new area of cross section that I want to know from you people. How to find out this new area of cross section for this stressed part. How will you find out? Exactly. Volume conservation. Jovita is telling me use volume conservation for the stressed part. Initial volume should be equal to final volume. volume conservation should be applied. You would be able to find out A dash. Correct? And what is volume? Cross-sectional area multiplied by length, or let's say height. Okay. So tell me, if this is the total length 3L by 2 and this one is L minus X, then what would be this length? This length would be 3L by 2 minus this. So 3L by 2 minus L is how much? L by 2 plus X. Okay. So this stretched part was having initial length X, and now the final length of the stretched part would be L by 2 plus X. Okay. And area is A dash. So volume conservation, volume initial of the stressed part should be equal to volume final of the stressed part. So what is the volume initial of the stressed part? It is cross-sectional area A multiplied by X. This is the initial volume, and volume final would be cross-sectional area A dash multiplied by length, which is L by 2 plus X. So A dash comes out to be AX upon L by 2 plus X. This would be your A dash. Okay. Now, the resistance of this wire was R. Okay. And in the question, it has been told that resistance of this full set, the 3L by 2 wire, becomes how much? 4 times 4R. Okay. And this 3L by 2 is having two resistors, one of length L minus X, another one of length L by 2 plus X. One of area A, another one of area A dash. And the resistivity is same for both of them. Why? Because the material is same. So the resistivity will remain same. So if, let's say, this one is having resistance R1 and this one is having resistance R2, that you can find out. So R1 plus R2 should be how much? R1 plus R2 should be 4 times the initial value. This is already given in the question. R1 plus R2 is equal to 4 times R. This is already given. So now use this relationship to get the value of X. Use this relationship to get the value of X. Do it. So what is R1? R1 is equal to rho. Length is how much? Length is L minus X upon area is A. Plus, what is R2? R2 is rho. Length is how much? Length is L by 2 plus X upon area is what? A dash. So what is A dash? A dash is, let's say, A dash, and that should be equal to 4 times R. What is R? R was rho L upon A. Okay. Now, yeah, now you can put the value of A dash here. So rho by A L minus X plus rho upon A dash, so it would be AX upon, so this would become L by 2 plus X whole square, and that should be equal to 4 times rho L upon A. So what you can cancel out? Rho by A, rho by A, rho by A, rho by A cancel out. Okay, and now solve. So L minus X plus A plus B whole square would be A square, L square by 4 plus B square plus 2AB would be simply Lx is equal to how much? It is 4 times L. It is 4 times L. Okay. Next. Okay. X is also there. See, this whole upon X. L minus X plus this L square by 4 plus X square plus Lx upon X is equal to how much? 4L. Further solve. Further solve this equation to get the value of X. Okay. So this would be Lx minus X square plus L square by 4 plus X square plus Lx is equal to 4Lx. Okay, so X square and minus X square will cancel out. So Lx and Lx, 2Lx plus L square by 4 is equal to 4Lx. This implies L square by 4 is equal to 2Lx Now L and L cancel out, so X comes out to be L by 8. And if X is L by 8, then what would be the fraction? Fraction would be 1 by 8. 1 by 8 is the answer. L by 8 upon L would be 1 by 8. Clear? 1 by 8 would be the answer for this question. So first what we will do, first read the question carefully, understand the question, and accordingly draw the diagram so that things become easy for you and you can solve the question easily. Okay, so we stretch fraction of the length till 3 by 2 times the initial length. So you can easily get the part of length of stressed part. Area will definitely change A dash. You can apply volume conservation to get A dash. And now R1 plus R2 is given as 4 times R. Put the values and get the answer. Put all the values and get the answer. Solve. Okay. Next. Next question. Next. Now, okay. So next question is, there are 3 resistors as shown in the figure. So a part of circuit is shown in the figure, not the whole circuit. Only a part of circuit is shown. So there are 3 resistors, R1, 20 ohm, 15 ohm, connected as shown in the figure. And there is one ammeter. There is one ammeter. Now let me tell you what is ammeter. Ammeter, it is an electrical device. Yeah, it is an electrical device which is used to measure amount of current, flowing through a particular branch in the given circuit. Okay, so in a circuit there are many branches. So let's say if you want to find out current passing through 20 ohm, okay, then what you will do, you will connect this ammeter, in this branch, okay, and then allow current to flow through this branch. This ammeter will give you the exact reading that how much current has passed through this branch. Okay, so ammeter is an electrical device which is used to measure the amount of current flowing through a particular branch in the given circuit, and you have to apply the ammeter in the same branch where you want to find out current. Okay, apply the ammeter, connect the ammeter in the same branch where you want to find out the current. Okay, now the question is in the given circuit, current flowing through the resistance 20 ohm. Current flowing through the resistor 20 ohm is given as how much? It is given as 0.3 ampere. So this info is given. The current passing through 20 ohm is 0.3, and the ammeter reading, okay, basically current passing through ammeter reading is given as how much? 0.8 ampere. Ammeter reading is 0.8 ampere. Then find the value of R1. This is the question. Okay, so in this question, a part of circuit is given. The circuit is not complete. A part of circuit is given. And in this part, 3 resistors are connected as shown in the figure. There is one ammeter as shown in the figure. So current passing through 20 ohm resistor is given as 0.3 ampere, whereas reading of ammeter is given as 0.8 ampere. Then what would be the value of R1? Find out. Solve. There are only three resistors, R1, 20 and 15 as shown in the figure. Okay. And this is the part of a circuit. Okay. So in this question, ammeter reading is given to us. What is the ammeter reading? Ammeter reading is 0.8 ampere. Okay. Now current passing through 20 ohm is also given. It is 0.3 ampere. Now, one thing you should notice, in fact, you must have noticed that all these three resistors, can I say all these three resistors are connected in parallel? R1, 20 and 15, all are connected in parallel. And if all are connected in parallel, then can I say potential difference across all of them would be same? Potential difference across all of them would be same. So potential difference across R1 is equal to potential difference across 20 ohm. Yes, 60 ohm is correct. 60 ohm seems to be correct. Okay, so potential difference across R1 is equal to potential difference across 20 ohm is equal to potential difference across 15 ohm. And can you find out potential difference across 20 ohm, because current is also given and 20 is also given. So potential difference across 20 ohm would be current 0.3 IR multiplied by resistance 20. So this is how much? This one is 6 volt. And if this one is 6 volt, then can I say potential difference across 15 ohm would also be 6 volt? And potential difference across 15 is 6 volt, then that would be current passing through 15 ohm multiplied by 15 ohm. So what is the current passing through 15 ohm? Current passing through 15 ohm comes out to be 6 by 15, and that is how much? 2 by 5, that is equal to 0.4 ampere. This would be current passing through 15 ohm comes out to be 0.4. Okay, so 15 ohm current is 0.4. Now tell me, if the total current in the ammeter is 0.8 ampere, and out of which 0.3 and zero point 0.4 are coming from 20 and 15 respectively, then what would be the current passing through R1? Current passing through R1, so this plus this current passing through all of them, addition of all the currents should be equal to 0.8, because this is the junction. Okay, so current passing through R1 would be 0.1 ohm, and when you add all these three values, 0.1, 0.3, 0.4, it comes out to be 0.8. And if current passing through R1 is equal to 0.1, and potential is already, we know that potential difference across R1 is equal to 6 volt, which is equal to I multiplied by resistance R1. So this R1 comes out to be how much? 60 ohm. This would be the answer. R1 comes out to be 60 ohm. 60. Clear? Okay. Okay. Next. Next is, okay. Now next subtopic is cell. Okay, cell. So till now we were using a battery. Okay, and there is a battery of, let's say 20 volt. Okay, so this was the battery. So this is a battery. Now what is cell? Now cell would be having this kind of structure. There would be one terminal and there would be one register which is known as internal register. Yes. So what is cell? Cell would be having one EMF and one internal register. So this box, okay, when you will go to any lab and will see cell, so there would be a box, and in that box, in this box, you will see there would be one terminal and there would be one register. So this register is known as internal register, internal resistance, internal resistance of that particular cell, internal resistance of that particular cell, and this would be having certain EMF. Okay, this would be the voltage source, and this would be having certain EMF. Okay, so it has got certain internal resistance. This box, which is known as cell, this has got certain in cells would be having their own internal resistance. Okay, and what is the use of this internal resistance, that also I will tell you. Okay, this one is internal resistance and this one is battery. This is EMF, and right now we were using a battery which is not having any internal resistance. Okay, let's say the internal resistance was not known to us. Okay, like we can solve the circuit using this 20 volt only. Okay, everything is there in this box, but now inside the box what all is present? So if a cell is there, so there would be one internal resistance. Okay, yeah, the what is the full form of EMF? It is electromotive electromotive force, and the unit of EMF would be same as this volt. It would be in volt. Now if cells are connected, let's say if multiple cells are connected, so cell is like this. Sometimes in the question it would be given that internal resistance is 0. If it is given, then you have to assume internal resistance to be 0. So let's say this one. So this is a cell with internal resistance R and EMF E. Okay, it is given. Now combination of cells. So this one is a cell. This one is a cell. Its EMF is E and internal resistance is small r. Now if multiple cells are connected like this, let's say in series, this way. This is the first cell. This one is the second cell. This one is the third cell. This one is the fourth cell. Okay, like this. So let's say this one is having E1. This is R1. This one is having E2. This is R2. This one is having E3. This is R3. This one is having E4, and this one is R4. Okay, if multiple cells. So we have got first cell. This one is the second cell. This one is the third cell. Okay, and this one is the fourth cell. In chemistry, okay, chemistry sir will tell you what is this EMF. Actually some reactions are taking place. So anode is there, cathode is there. In chemistry you must have studied this, that anode plate, cathode plate, and electrons will go to anode, they will come out from anode and all. So there is a one process. Okay, in physics we just have to remember that in cell there is one EMF and there is one internal resistance. That's it. And how to use them, that I will tell you in circuit, while solving the circuit, how to use them. So if multiple cells are connected like this, so these are multiple cells connected in series. This one is the series combination. Series combination. Okay, so how to convert them into a single cell? How to convert them, like like when multiple resistances are connected, okay, we try to find out the equivalent resistance. Okay. Similarly, if multiple cells are connected in series, then how to find out equivalent cell? How to find out equivalent cell? Equivalent cell means the equivalent EMF as well as the equivalent internal resistance. So always remember, if ends are connected in alternate way, like positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Can you see that? Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Then you can directly add them. So the equivalent would be, now we want to convert this into a single cell, and this single cell would be having one EMF and one internal resistance. And what would be that E equivalent? And this would be small r equivalent. So that E equivalent would be the addition of all of them. Okay, correct. E equivalent would be equal to how much? E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4. This would be the E equivalent. Okay, simply E1 plus E2 plus E3. So this formula is valid only for when multiple cells are connected in series, and in series means the alternate terminals, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, then only you can add. Okay, the another case also we will discuss. So this is the E equivalent of this equivalent cell, and what is the internal resistance equivalent of this equivalent cell? Same addition of all, R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4. Okay, so you can replace all these four cells by a single cell, and this single cell would be having the EMF as E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4, and internal resistance of this equivalent cell would be R1 plus R2 plus R3 plus R4. So this one is valid for series thing, when cells are connected in series. Now let's say terminals are like this. If terminals are like this, okay, if terminals are like this, let's say this one, then negative, positive, okay, and then again positive, negative, like this. Let's say E1, E2, E3, and this is R1, R2, R3. Okay, if three cells are connected like this, so now see the sequence: positive, negative, then negative, positive, and positive, negative. So what you will do now, basically the polarity of E2 is reversed if we compare it to the first case. Now the negative terminal is on the left hand side and positive is on the right hand side, whereas in the first case it was connected positive on left hand side and negative on right hand side. So in such cases, how will you find out? Now we want to convert it into single. So how will you find out equivalent now? See, so for EMF equivalent, you will take E1 as plus and this E2 as minus. Only the negative sign will come, and then again E3 as plus, because E3 is having the same polarity direction as that of E1. So if you are assuming these two as positive, then definitely E2 would be negative because it is just opposite of E1 and E3. So E equivalent would be E1 minus E2 plus E3. Always remember, when alternate signs are connected, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, okay, blindly you have to write down E1 plus E2 plus E3 plus E4. But wherever you find one reversal, okay, wherever you find one reversal, one negative sign would be there. Okay, on that reversal point, negative sign would be there. So here, what is the reversal point? Reversal point is E2. So E1 minus E2 and then again plus E3. Again, E3 is following the same trend as that of E1. Okay, so E1 minus E2, because this these batteries in first situation, in first case, all these cells are supporting each other. Let me tell you why we are adding them. All these cells are supporting each other. That is why we are adding them, E1 plus E2. And when do they support? When they are connected in series and terminals are connected alternatively, like positive, negative. Now negative is connected with positive. Now positive, negative. Again the negative is connected with positive. So they are all supporting each other. But whenever two negative terminals are, whenever in a series combination, two negative terminals are connected or two positive terminals are connected, then always negative sign would be there. It means they are opposing each other. They are not supporting. They are opposing each other. Correct? They are opposing each other. That is why E1 plus E2 minus E2. And why do they support? That also I will tell you. Please have patience, wait for some time. Okay, just learn what I'm telling you right now. So even minus E2 plus E3, this would be E equivalent, and R equivalent would remain the same. Okay, the terminal difference, the polarity of terminal, the location of terminal will not affect the equivalent resistance. It would remain same, R1 plus R2 plus R3. Okay, so this would be the EMF and R equivalent of an equivalent cell. Now, like those who are asking why does it support and oppose, so let me tell them. So see, if I take this is negative, this one is positive, let's say this is negative, this one is positive, and this is negative, and this is positive. Like forget about resistances now. Let's say there are 3 batteries. Okay, this one is 10 volt, this one is 20 volt, and this one is 30 volt. So when alternate signs are connected, like negative positive, negative positive, negative positive, then I know what would be the equivalent EMF. The equivalent EMF would be simply 10 plus 20 plus 30. So equivalent EMF comes out to be how much? It is 60 volt. Equivalent EMF would be 60 volt. But how? Okay, now let me tell you why. Why do they support each other if they are connected alternatively? So if I assume, let's say, see, if there is a battery of 10 volt, then this battery is telling me that terminal voltage across the ends. Okay, what is the potential? Let's say this point is A, this point is B, this point is C, and this point is D. So if I go and talk to this battery 1, so this battery will tell me I have got 2 terminal points, one is A, one is B. Okay, A is at lower potential, B is at higher potential. Why? Because B is connected with positive terminal, A is connected with negative terminal, and there is a potential difference of how much? There is a potential difference of 10 volt across these 2 points. Okay, so basically, can I say VB minus VA is given as how much? 10 volt. This is given. VB minus VA is given me 10 volt. So if I assume this VA, okay, if I assume, let's say at negative terminal of one of the batteries, if I assume that VA is equal to 0, correct? If VA is equal to 0, if VA is equal to 0, then this is 10 volt. And ultimately, what I have to find out? Ultimately, now look at here. Across 20 volt, now B and C are the terminal points. So C is what? C is at higher potential because C is connected with positive terminal, and B is at lower potential because it is connected with negative terminal. So can I say VC minus VB? VC minus VB would be how much? It would be 20 volt. VC minus VB would be 20 volt. And same is the case here. D is at higher potential and C is at lower potential because D is connected with positive terminal of 30. So can I say VD minus VC is how much? 30 volt. Correct? And I want to convert all these three in a single, So it would be having the same polarity, negative left hand side and positive right hand side. So ultimately this points B and C would be removed, and A would be here and D would be here. So ultimately what I want to find out, ultimately for this equivalent EMF, again the D is at higher potential, again the D is at, so I want to find out VD minus VA, and that VD minus VA would be the equivalent EMF, that VD minus VA. Okay, so add all of them, add all these three equations. So when you add all these three equations, so VB minus VB, VC minus VC, so left hand side you will get VD minus VA, and right hand side you will get 60 volt. So you will get the same thing. The equivalent comes out to be how much? The equivalent comes out to be 60 volt. We add them to find out this VD minus VA, correct? So there are 3 cells connected alternatively, minus plus minus plus. So always remember one thing, that whenever two opposite polarities, whenever let's say multiple cells are connected in series, okay, and and cells are in touch with each other by connecting opposite polarity terminals. Correct? By connecting opposite polarity terminals. Like the this is the first cell. First cell is connected with second one. Positive is connected with negative. Okay. Now second cell is connected with third one. Positive is connected with negative. So when alternate opposite polarity of two different cells are connected with each other, it means they are supporting each other. And if they are supporting each other, it means how will you find out? How will you find out equivalent EMF of the circuit? By simply adding them. Okay. But if two negative terminals, if two negative terminals and two positive terminals are connected, then it means they are opposing each other. Okay. So there you will take one negative sign. There you will take one negative sign. We will solve many questions. After solving those questions, your doubts will get cleared. Please wait for some time. Like, don't make any confusion. Okay. Now, okay. So next is when cells are connected in, cells are connected in parallel. Okay. When cells are connected in parallel. So what is equivalent means the total, like I don't want to deal with these three cells. I don't want to deal with these three cells connected in a circuit. I want to deal with a single cell. So for that particular single cell, I need to find out equivalent EMF of that single cell and equivalent internal resistance of that single cell. That's it. And that equivalent, that single cell will work. Okay. That will produce the same effect as produced by all of these three. Okay. Like we were doing for resistance. When multiple resistors are connected, then find out R equivalent, and that R equivalent will give you the same effect as produced by all the multiple resistors. Okay. Now next is when cells are connected in parallel. So now tell me, no, equivalent EMF will not come negative. Okay, that you will understand once we solve few questions. Okay, so wait for some time. Equivalent EMF will not come negative. Now, when cells are in parallel, cells in parallel, when cells are connected in parallel, how? Like this. There is one cell, positive, negative, one internal resistance, then positive, negative, one internal resistance, then positive, negative, and then internal resistance. Like this. Let's say there are three cells. Okay. So three cells are there. E1, R1, E2, R2, E3, R3. And always remember, in case of cells, okay, in case of cells, what would be the terminal? This is in a box. Terminal would be this point and this point, this point, this point, this one, and this one. So there are three cells as shown in the figure, and all three are connected in parallel. Can you see cells connected in parallel? Three cells connected in parallel, because all these three cells are having terminals same. Like right hand side terminal for all these three would be at same potential. If this one is A, this one is A, this one would also be A. And if left hand side is also same for all three, if this one is B, this one is B, this one is B. Okay, so basically there are three cells connected in parallel. And how do we decide that they are in parallel? So for series and parallel, we will have the same concept. In series means current is same, in parallel potential difference is same across the terminals. And in case of cells, terminal would be this, not this. Like terminal, this would be the terminal of EMF. That is not the terminal of cell. Terminal of cell would be outside the box, the right hand side and left hand side point. So point A, the right hand side point for all the three cells would be common. A would be at the same potential, and the left hand side terminal for all the three cells would be same. It is B at potential B. Okay, now I want to convert these three cells in a single cell. I want to convert them into a single cell. So that single cell would be like this. Okay, all now look at here. All three are having positive terminal on left hand side. So these are the supporting batteries. These are the supporting cells. Okay, whenever like they are having all the cells are having the positive terminal either on left hand side or right hand side, it means they are supporting each other. So this would be E equivalent and this would be R equivalent. How to find out E equivalent, R equivalent in case of parallel? Look here. E equivalent would be E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 plus E3 upon R3. Okay, why all the signs are plus? Because positive, positive, positive. All positives are connected together in parallel. All negatives are connected together on right hand side. That is why positive. Upon 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So this is for E equivalent. Okay, whenever cells are connected in parallel, how to find out EMF and internal resistance of equivalent cell like this. uh, EMF of the equivalent cell would be E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 plus E3 upon R3 whole upon 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. And how will you find out R equivalent? R equivalent would be the same formula, parallel formula. 1 upon R equivalent is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Okay. How do we derive this formula? So there is one method. Okay. We can there was some network. Can you all see that? Am I audible? Things are visible clearly. Screen is blur. Actually, I'm using net. There's something wrong with my Wi-Fi. Wait for 2-3 minutes. Wait. I'm trying to fix it. Okay. So when cells are connected in parallel, and cell is having EMF and internal resistance. So when multiple cells are connected in parallel, how to find out equivalent? It is E1 upon R1 plus E2 upon R2 plus E3 upon R3 upon, like this, 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. This total, this whole thing, this whole expression will give you equivalent, and R equivalent the same way as we find out for parallel. 1 upon R equivalent is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. But if I change the polarity, so this formula is for when all the positive terminals are on left hand side or right hand side, and when all the negative terminals of the cells are on either right hand side or left hand side. But if you have a circuit like this, then E equivalent would be how much? E equivalent would be E1 upon R1. Okay, E1 and E3. Yeah, I'm teaching this one. Now E1 and E3, they are having positive terminal on left hand side, whereas E2 is having positive on right hand side. It means E2 is out of the order if we compare it from E1 and E3. So this would be taken as negative. So minus E2 upon R2 and again plus E3 upon R3 and whole upon. Only one negative sign will come. If we reverse the polarity, only one negative sign, and 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 this way. Okay. So this would be the formula for E equivalent now for this one, and R equivalent will remain same. 1 upon R equivalent is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Okay. And what would be the like polarity of E equivalent? It would be governed by E1 and E3, because E1 and E3 are playing the major role. If E1 upon R1, if the magnitude of E1 upon R1 plus E3 upon R3 is greater than, if they both combinedly is greater than E2 upon R2, then the the equivalent the equivalent cell would be having the positive polarity on left hand side and negative on right hand side, because E1 and E3 will govern them. Okay, negative, this one is positive. So this would be E equivalent and this would be R equivalent. Okay. So this formula is valid for parallel. Now let's do a few questions. Wait. Wait. Okay. So now there's one question. There are two cells, positive, negative. Okay. This is the question. In this circuit, 4 volt, 2 ohm, 3 ohm. How much is this? It's a 6 volt and this one is 5 ohm. Okay. So 4 volt, 2 ohm, 6 volt, 3 ohm. So this is the circuit. There are two cells. There are two cells connected as shown in the figure with an external resistance 5 ohm. Yeah, I will tell you. Prisha, I will clear your doubt. Please wait for some time. Through a question, huh? So there are two cells. Now we are taking questions on cells. When multiple cells are connected in a circuit, how to solve that circuit. So in this circuit, you have to tell me, find out current. find out current in the above circuit. You have to find out current in the above circuit. Find out current in the above circuit. How will you do that now? So there are two cells, and both the cells, there is only one circuit, there is only one loop. It means current passing through. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 electrical devices, and current passing through all of them is same. It means both the cells are connected in series, and they are supporting each other, positive, negative, positive, negative. So what would be E equivalent? Can I say E equivalent would be like this? E equivalent would be like this. It would be 4 plus 6, 10 volt, and internal resistance would be 2 plus 3, how much? 5 ohm. And now this thing is connected with what? External resistance 5 ohm. Now this thing is connected with external resistance 5 ohm. Now again, what is the equivalent resistance of the circuit? Equivalent resistance would be this internal resistance is in series with this 5 ohm. This internal resistance of the final cell is in series with external 5 ohm. So what would be R equivalent? R equivalent would be 10 ohm. And if R equivalent is 10 ohm and battery is having EMF 10 volt, then what would be current? Now same procedure we have to follow, V equal to IR. So 10 volt upon 10 ohm, that would be 1 ampere. 1 ampere is the answer for this question. Okay. The only thing is, like, you have to solve for multiple cells, how to find out equivalent EMF and equivalent internal resistance, and then the normal procedure, okay, which we were doing till now. That the normal procedure you have to follow to get current in the circuit, or let's say potential difference across any of the terminals. Okay, so current in the circuit comes out to be 1 ampere. And if I ask you what is the potential difference across this external resistor? So potential difference across this external resistor, yeah, potential difference across this external resistor would be how much? I into R. So what is the current? Current passing through this 5 ohm is 1 ampere multiplied by resistance is 5. So it comes out to be how much? 5 volt. It comes out to be 5 volt. Clear? Okay. Yeah. EMF and potential difference. So now the doubt is EMF and potential difference, they both are same or not. See, if there is a battery, I will tell you the difference. In fact, through the same question, let us discuss about what is the potential difference. Okay, what is the potential? What is the difference between potential difference and EMF? So in EMF, let's say there is a cell. If I talk about this cell, okay, equivalent is 10 volt and this is 5 ohm. Okay, this one. If we talk about this one, then tell me what is the current. Current flowing through the battery is how much? Current flowing through the battery is how much? It is 1 ampere. And now these are the points. This is point A and this is point B. Okay, listen to me carefully. This is the equivalent cell. This one is the equivalent cell, and with this equivalent cell, an external resistor of 5 ohm is connected, and current in the circuit comes out to be 1 ampere. Now I'm solving only this part. Okay, I'm solving this uh, equivalent cell. This equivalent cell is having terminals B and A as shown in the figure, and for obvious reasons, the potential of point B would be greater than potential of point A, because potential B is in direct touch with positive terminal, whereas A is connected with negative terminal side. So what is the difference? This 10 volt is the EMF. Listen to me. This 10 volt is the EMF. So what is this 10 volt? This 10 volt is the potential difference between these 2 points, this point and this point. So let's say this point is what? C. This point is C, and this point would also remain B only. Correct? This point would also be B. Okay. So what is this 10 volt? This EMF in a cell, this EMF 10 volt gives me potential difference between these 2 points, B and C. Whereas if I ask you, If I ask you what is the potential difference across the terminals of the cell, then that would be VB minus VA. So what is VB minus VA? That is VT. This would be the terminal voltage. This would be the terminal voltage across a cell. Okay. This VB minus VA would be the terminal voltage. These are the terminals, because this whole thing would be in a box. So terminals would be VB and VA. So VB minus VA is the terminal voltage across a cell, whereas this EMF gives me potential difference between 2 points. And what are those 2 points? One point would be V and one point would be C. So basically VB minus VC is equal to 10 volt. VB minus VA. Okay, if I ask you what is the terminal voltage across a cell, then that will not be equal to EMF 10 volt. Okay, that would be VB minus VA. Now, how to find it out? Okay, that we have to learn. How to find it out? How to find out this terminal voltage? That we need to learn. Okay, so now I will tell you how to find out this terminal voltage, because VB minus VC is already given, which is not the terminal voltage. Terminal voltage would be VB minus VA. Okay, now I'm starting from point A. Okay, current would be like this, and obviously after flowing through external 5 ohm, after flowing through external 5 ohm, can I say the direction of current will enter into negative terminal like this, 1 ohm. Okay, current will enter into negative terminal like this, 1 ohm. Okay, now we are starting from point A. We are starting from point A, and I'm moving towards point B. And we know that potential of point A is less than potential of point B. Potential of point A is less than potential of point B, and current flows from current always flows from higher potential to lower potential. Current always flows from higher potential to lower potential. Okay. Okay, so now look at this figure. There is a cell with EMF 10 volt and internal resistance 5 ohm. This is 5 ohm, this is 10 volt. Okay, and this is point A. Okay, this one is point B, correct? And this one is point C. Let's say this one is point C. Okay, and current is what? 1 ampere. Current is like 1 ampere, like this. Okay, I want to find out terminal voltage across a cell. I want to find out terminal voltage across a cell. So that would be VB minus VA. I want to find out this value, VB minus VA. I'm starting from point C. Tell me, across this 5 ohm, what is the current flowing? 1 ampere, and 1 ampere is flowing from point A to point C. It means A is at higher potential, C is at lower potential. It means A is at higher potential, C is lower potential. So VA minus VC will be equal to what? VA minus VC would be equal to what? IR. I multiplied by R. Simply I is 1 multiplied by current is how much? Current is 1 and resistance is 5. Okay, so VA minus VC is 5. Now this B and C I know. Do we know VB minus VC? Correct, because EMF is 10 volt and 10 volt is equal to what? 10 volt is VB minus VC. This would be 10 volt. This EMF is giving me potential difference between B and C. B is at higher potential because it is connected with positive terminal. C is at lower potential because it is connected with negative terminal. Okay, what we want to find out? We want to find out VB minus VA. Okay, so let's say this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So simply equation 1 minus equation 2, left hand side you will get VC will cancel out, left hand side you will get VB minus VA is equal to 10 minus 5. So VB minus VA is equal to how much? 5 volt. This would be the terminal voltage. This would be the terminal voltage. Correct? And tell me, can I say this was the equivalent? This was the EMF of the cell. Right? This VB. Now I am moving towards a generalized formula. Okay, I got for this particular question, I got the terminal voltage as 5 volt, but I want to find out one generalized formula. Okay, so this VB minus VC was what? 10, and 10 is the EMF. It is equal to E. And this this one is the current passing through. Can I say this 1 ampere is the current passing through the battery, current passing through the cell? And what is this 5? Can I say this 5 is the internal resistance? Can I say this 5 is the internal resistance? So now can I say the general formula for terminal voltage, which is VB minus VA, would be equal to E minus I multiplied by R? Can I say the general formula for finding out terminal voltage across any cell, across a cell, would be this? Remember this formula. Remember this formula, the terminal voltage. What is terminal voltage? Across points A and B, like this. Whole thing is in a box, and these are the 2 points. B is at higher potential, A is at lower potential. Okay, so it would be E minus IR. Current is flowing from, okay, from B to A. Sorry, from A to C. So terminal voltage formula is E minus IR. What is E? E is the EMF of that cell minus current passing through that cell multiplied by internal resistance of the cell. This will give you terminal voltage across any cell. What is V equal to E? Okay, so terminal voltage is equal to EMF across any cell. Terminal voltage would be EMF minus I into R. So now if I ask you, see here, if I ask you this question, come to this part. Okay, we had solved this question. Just now we solved this question. So there are two cells connected, and in this circuit, what was the current? Current was 1 ampere, like this. So 1 ampere is traveling like this. 1 ampere like this, and 1 ampere, 1 ampere. Okay. Now come to the initial circuit, 1 ampere, 1 ampere. Okay. Now I want to ask you terminal voltage across this cell and terminal voltage across this cell. I want to ask you terminal voltage across both of them. So what would be the terminal voltage across this one, this first cell? Terminal voltage across this first cell would be EMF. What is the EMF of this cell? EMF of this cell is 6 volt minus current is 1 ampere multiplied by internal resistance is 3. So terminal voltage across this first cell would be equal to how much? 3 volt. Terminal voltage across this first cell would be 3 volt, like across this point and this point. Okay, between these 2 points, what is the terminal voltage? It comes out to be 3 volt. And what is the terminal voltage across the second one? The terminal voltage across the second cell would be E minus IR. What is the EMF in this case? EMF is 4 minus what is the current? Current is 1 multiplied by internal resistance is 2. So this comes out to be how much? 2 volt. Terminal voltage across the second cell comes out to be how much? 2 volt. And terminal voltage across this first one comes out to be 3 volt. Okay, clear? So now you can find out terminal voltage across any of the batteries, any of the cells. Okay, remember this formula, E minus IR. Okay. Okay, next question. Next one. Next. So now next is, you tell me oh, let's say if I reverse the polarity now. So positive, negative, internal resistance. Okay. And then negative, positive, internal resistance. And this one is connected with some external. So now internal resistance is same. It is 2 ohm. And this one is 3 ohm. Okay. And this one is how much? This one is, let's say, this one is 10 volt and this one is 5 volt. Okay, now this is the circuit. In this question, this is the circuit and this one is given as 5 ohm. Now you have to tell me what is the current in the circuit, first thing, and terminal voltage for both the cells, terminal voltage for both the cells. Okay, first thing is current and the second one is terminal voltage for both the cells. You have to find out. Tell me how to solve. So you can see that there are two cells and obviously there is a single loop. So current would be same through all the electrical devices. It means they both are connected in what? They both are connected in series. But in series, positive, negative is not there. Alternate signs are not connected. Now this time negative, are connected. It means both the batteries are opposing each other. They are not supporting each other. There is one difference. They are not supporting each other. So you will have to find out equivalent, and what would be the equivalent? Which one is at higher voltage, higher EMF? 10 volt is at higher EMF. So equivalent would have the positive terminal on left hand side. This 10 volt cell will govern. So this positive, negative, and there is one internal. So this is the, and this equivalent is connected with external 5 ohm. Equivalent of these two cells connected with external resistor 5 ohm. And what would be the EMF of this equivalent cell? They both are opposing each other now, positive, negative, positive. So 10 minus 5, 10 minus 5 would be 5 volt. Okay, this is 10 minus 5, 5 volt. And what would be R? R would be 3 plus 2, 5 ohm. Correct? And now this internal resistance 5 ohm is in series with 5 ohm. So what is the R equivalent of the circuit? R equivalent of the circuit is 10 ohm. Correct? And EMF of this whole is 5 volts. So what is the current? Current is equal to simply 5 by 10, that is equal to 1 by 2 ampere. So answer for the first part is 1 by 2 ampere is this current in this circuit. And current will always start from positive terminal of a battery. So current in this loop would be flowing in which sense? Anti-clockwise sense. Can you see that? 0.5 ampere in anti-clockwise sense. Okay. Now, if current is flowing in anti-clockwise sense, now we will come to the this original structure, So current is flowing like this. Okay, 0.5 ampere, 0.5 ampere. Now second part you have to find out is terminal voltage. Second part you have to find out terminal voltage. Now there is a catch. Terminal voltage is E minus IR. Terminal voltage would be E minus IR when a particular battery is getting discharged. When cell is getting discharged, and it would be E plus IR. It would be E plus IR when cell is getting charged. Exactly. When cell is getting charged. Now you will ask me, what is this charge and discharge? Cell is getting charged. Okay. So now in this particular question, you can see the direction of current is from right to left. Correct? In anti-clockwise sense, basically. In anti-clockwise sense. So this particular battery, this particular cell with EMF 10 volt and internal resistance 2, this particular cell is getting discharged. Always remember one thing. Whenever current leaves from positive terminal, it means that particular cell is being used. That particular cell is being used to deliver some power to some external device. And whenever current is entering, whenever current is entering through positive terminal of a battery, it means that battery is not getting discharged. That battery is instead getting charged. Some more energy is given to that battery. Okay, just remember one thing, that whenever current is leaving from positive terminal, then that battery, that particular cell is getting discharged. And when it is getting discharged, what would be the terminal voltage? It would be E minus IR. And when current is entering positive terminal, when current is entering positive terminal, that battery would be getting charged. And in case of charging of a cell, what would be the terminal voltage across the cell? It would be E plus IR. So this particular one is getting charged. This particular cell is getting charged, and this cell is getting discharged. This one is getting discharged. So what is the terminal voltage? What is the terminal voltage across 10 volt cell? It would be 10 minus I is 1 by 2 multiplied by internal resistance is 2. So that would be 9 volt. So terminal voltage across this cell which is getting discharged would be 9 volt, whereas terminal voltage across 5 volt, like the second cell, which is getting charged, would be how much? It would be E5 plus current, which is half, multiplied by R, which is 3. So 5 plus 3 by 2, so 6.5 volt. So terminal voltage across this left hand side cell would be 9 volt, and terminal voltage across this right hand side cell would be 6.5 volt. It would be E plus IR because it is getting charged. How to decide whether it's getting charged or discharged? When current is entering through positive terminal, it gets charged. When current leaves through positive terminal, it gets discharged. Clear? So in today's lecture, we learned about cells connected in series and parallel, how to find out their equivalent, that you know, and how to find out terminal voltage across cells when they are getting charged or discharged. Okay, so in the next class we will continue and we'll do few more questions based on cells in series and parallel. And in the next class we will also start Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, bye.